And we're off. Okay, we got a little bit of protecting here to start off. Nothing really crazy.
Fisher-Price, my first shield for all of our runners. Surprisingly, all starting from Link's house as well.
Absolutely.
We have a map check. We have a 5-6 crystal I saw in Desert Palace. So that's definitely going to be one of our destinations. It looked like another crystal in Eastern Palace. No,
I think
correct.
It
is a pendant.
Yeah, I think they were both pendants. Got some money. Good to know the uncle didn't go empty-handed.
It looked like he might have been trying to bribe those guards there, and they didn't clean him out, left 50 rupees behind. But it looks like the beginning of Escape, not too impressive. Sanctuary, however, giving us some bombs.
Absolutely, that's definitely going to help here for the Kakariko play. And while it's not too amazing to just only get money, at least it's a head start towards potentially going up to Zora and also the Bottle Merchant as well.
Well, it could also help for Palace of Darkness if we need to go that way. But once you get above about 800 rupees, about the only thing you have to worry about at that point is potentially filling up bottles again at the Witch.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I think I'm going to turn back around for that glove, Walker. That's a good idea.
Gotta love the hesitation, though. So that's a big find.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like muscle memory. You kind of just want to poke your head in there real quick just to see what it is. You're so used to seeing like a rupee or some other completely inconsequential item, and you go, wait, no, I want that.
And we got a ether on Lumberjack, so here's the start of the cliff dive, right?
Oh, absolutely. Now we just need ether to be on either Misery Mire or Turtle Rock.
Right.
So we're halfway to a potential Aghanim play, but we won't know if it is going to be an Aghanim play for quite some time, I don't think.
Oh, there's your sword.
Oh, and a mirror to go with it. So the sword and the mirror in Blyden's hut so far, that's a pretty good find. And a blue safety vest. So blue mail upgrade, sword. That was definitely a productive Blind's hut, excuse me.
Yeah. Looks like Corito's trying to farm some bombs, some extra bombs here. He don't believe they have gone to Sanctuary yet, so.
And a full heart inside the well. Ooh, quite a bit of rupees, it seems, so far. And another piece of heart will finish off our play here. It looks like we're finished with all of the syncing with our runners right now.
Bottle Merchant just coming up with some arrows.
Now that would have been really good if those were silver arrows, but unfortunately just look like a 10 stack.
We've got a bow. Early bow.
And it looks like we have a sighting on a moon pearl. Kirito, it looks like, found the prize for the race game to be a moon pearl.
Okay, well, this is getting pretty interesting. The Eastern Palace definitely is, Sarashtra Eastern Palace is definitely tempting, but there's still a little bit more to check out, it looks like.
Well, here's the problem. I don't think with Eastern Palace being a pendant, you really want to go too far out of the way for that. But
Yeah, for sure.
You know, once we get into the Dark World, and I believe we have the potential for Dark World access with the Moon Pearl, the gloves, I think we can get into the Dark World to at least check the map, as it looks like Wallkicks and Simo have both found the Moon Pearl and are about to have a little race.
And Wallkicks picks up their Moon Pearl, as well as Simo, and I imagine Sleepy Night will be making their way as well. And Wallkicks will be the first to enter the South Shore area, see what's down here. Luckily, with that mirror, they're going to be able to just do a quick dam skip here.
And I'm actually surprised with Simo restarting in Sanctuary. Looks like has something else in mind. Gonna do a couple more checks. Kirito picking up some bombs. Sleepy looks like they're on their way to pick up the Moon Pearl. Simo checking the 3 chests in the escape and finding a burrito, bombs, and some rupees.
So we're going to check out Mini Moldorm Cave here on Wallkicks, the true hype cave, as some say.
Yeah, there's definitely opportunity for some hype here, but seeing a couple early items, we'll see what happens. Oh, that's a pretty good start.
There you go. Got Fire Rod here, as well as a bottle.
This might be back to Kakariko and a potential Skull Woods.
Yeah, I like that map check idea too. Obviously, we'll still need the hammer or potential glove upgrade in order to get up there, but...
Well, that's why, you know, we have to throw that qualifier of potential in there. It's definitely, you know, you kind of look at the recipe, you go, all right, I got, you know, the A1, I've got the mashed potatoes, I've got everything lined up, the finest china, but then you realize, no steak.
Just some bombs in Ice Rod Cave. We'll see if Simo goes that way as well. I imagine that Wallkicks is going to do a fake flipper here with that Moon Pearl.
Yeah, it looks like it. Probably just gonna check the hobo. I don't know if I'd want to go into the waterfall cave. Oh, looks like Wallkick's having a little bit of trouble setting this up. Walking too far off the edge. Just has to get a little bit closer and then... gonna bomb jump into the water. For those that have potentially seen this or just don't know what Wallkicks did there, you can jump into the water, and as the game checks, wait, you don't have flippers, you can screen transition, and then the game will just, oh, well, you have flippers, okay.
So yeah, looks like Wall Kicks will head back down. Because they have the Moon Pearl, they're going to be able to check Waterfall Cave. Maybe just kind of gamble a little bit. There's some money in there that could take them up to Zora, because obviously right now they do not have enough for that. While Simo looks to be doing the
Potentially.
castle escape, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say the rest of the escape. Simo went in there, plucked out the 3 chests. So it looks like Simo might just be all in on the escape play here. And we have a question in chat. Why does the Moon Pearl allow the Waterfall Fairy glitch check to work? Is that one you can explain?
I can't explain the technicality behind it. I just know that you need it in order for it to work.
And yes, Professor Renderer also bringing up that if you are in that particular area and get sniped, you're donezo. And
the gamble did pay off for Wall Kicks, though. Oh, and it pays off even more.
Profit moon swing here. Oh, if there's money in these chests. Of course, we hit a 300 drop, and then the flute for Wall Kicks.
Now, technically, Zora was in logic, because Wall Kicks had the glove. So, while the Waterfall Cave was not, Zora was. So, for all we know, this could be intended by the game.
Well, that or we're going to find flippers fairly soon, but unfortunately for Kirito and Wall Kicks, not in these 3 chests.
Right. So Simo has now done all of escape except the one. I don't remember if Simo went down. I don't believe that they did. So I think there's still the 1 chest left in Simo, or in escape rather.
Well, I think Wall Kicks is heading over to Kakariko to activate the flute. Mobility is definitely going to give Wall Kicks an advantage at this point.
The question is where do you go from there? Do you go down to Desert Palace because of the crystal, or do you head up Death Mountain in hopes to get maybe something up there? Do have the mirror, so...
I would think Death Mountain, as I'm going to stand at attention for the playing of the Hylian National Anthem.
Ooh. We got some silvers on Lake Hylia Island. Curious who will pick those up and who won't.
Depends on how confident you are that the time used to go get them is going to be made up with fighting Ganon at the end of the game. But Wall Kick's going, I believe, into Death Mountain, and I think that's where I would have went as well, just because of the item density. But Simo choosing a different route, heading into Sahasrara's cave, and not finding too much of consequence.
And it also looks like Simo is going to dip into Eastern Palace, so we'll be interested to see what's in here.
It is completable. Have the bow, have a sword.
I personally like the play, because I feel like, you know, it is a gamble, but you know that you're probably going to be ahead if it works out, because it's kind of an unpopular play, given the fact that it's just a regular pendant. So it's a gamble, but if it pays off, you can feel pretty secure that it's probably, you know, you're probably one of the few that made that choice.
I mean, that is true. But with imperfect information, you could really say almost anything is a gamble.
Oh,
As we see wall kicks into Spectacle Rock, and it looks like he's going to find a book for his troubles.
unique item. What was that? Mimic Cave? I missed it.
It was the drop down.
Mini Moldorm Cave. It said a unique item is in. I thought it said Mimic Cave. It said Mini Moldorm Cave, which we know
Is the fire rod.
Yeah. And at some point, Simo picked up the shovel. I imagine that was in Eastern. I missed that one.
Simo had the shovel for a while.
Oh, really?
I'm actually not sure where he picked that up. The shovel's one of those items where I just kind of go, okay, great, you have a shovel.
Ooh. Pardon my exclamation.
What'd you find?
There was a hammer there up on Spectacle Rock.
I would speculate and chat confirming that the shovel was in the castle escape, as Simo did do most of the escape.
That's right, that's right.
He may have deduced that either a burrito or compass were the only potential item left, and just escape.
Okay. We got the hint about Ether, which we knew. It's on Lumberjack Cave. That's in Tower of Hera. All Kicks is just gonna warp out. Sayonara. Few quick checks.
And Kirito in Agina's cave looks like potentially having a go at Desert Palace in the near future for Kirito, but Agina's cave giving a full heart. Now we can see if Sleepy Knight would be able to head into Tower of Hera and get any further. But so far it looks like Tower of Hera is unspectacular so far.
Let's see what Sleepy does. Sleepy is not going to continue. They are going to exit as well. It's a bit of a gamble. We already know that one item was found. There's 2 items in Tower of Hera, so for something that's not a crystal or maybe the green pendant, not worth the time right now for Sleepy.
Yeah, very true. I definitely agree with getting out of Tower of Hera. Just a little too much effort for not so much reward. And Wall Kicks is heading into what's the name of it?
Paradox Cave.
Thank you. Sitting there, all right. It starts with a P. Going through all the names. I'm like, nope. No, old man brain. Sorry.
Okay. Wow. Paradox Cave coming up empty. That's pretty rare. I mean, obviously it's all random, but I feel like you always find something in Paradox Cave. And Sleepy Knight is pretty much right on Wall Kick's trail, making the rounds here. As Kirito and Simo kind of are in the same footsteps towards South Shore.
Yeah, with 7 items, the 5 in the Paradox Cave plus the 2 along the way, usually you get something out of there, but big fat negatory this seed. So Wall Kick seems to be headed toward Palace of Darkness. Having the bow, it's not a bad idea. It's completable.
completable minus, you know, it's not technically in logic unless, of course, we find the lamp in pod. But I imagine Walkis can handle the dark rooms, okay, as well as the majority of these runners. But I guess we'll find out. I definitely think, you know, given the item density in pod, Walkix can check Sir Hashrala here, which we know isn't anything, but... And then obviously, if they want to dip into Eastern using the mirror, they can as well. So this is a good play.
I think the Eastern part of that is not likely, just because of dependent nature. But then again...
Yeah, it depends on how successful pod is.
Palace of Darkness not having the logic dictate that you're able to go in here without the lamp, that it is still completable, just on the raw fact that if you can navigate the dark rooms without the lamp, you have the bow, you can get to the boss, you can defeat the boss.
Simo will be picking up their flute here at Zora. So what are we looking for here? I mean, besides just some progression, I mean, I think finding lamp would be nice. Ooh, Magic Cape requires the hammer, we find out in pod.
That's a good question. I mean, at this point, it's okay. Can I complete a dungeon? Yeah, you know, yes or no. I think Palace of Darkness is a yes. So I agree with Walkix going into Palace of Darkness and attempting to complete it. If you find something along the way, then fantastic. Otherwise, you know, you're going to have to hunt down progression, and chat brought up a little bit before I will just now, that hype cave has not been checked yet, and that's, you got 5 items, so you know, you take the item density play at some point and just go, all right, I've got to find something.
Well, we'll get some new info here from Sleepy Night about Desert Palace. This will be interesting. Find out if its boots locked or not.
Now, is Skull Woods accessible with only the Power Glove, or do we need the Titan's Mitts to be able to get all the way through and have a date with Mothula?
Well, we just found the Titan's Mitts in pod. But
well,
no, you should...
That definitely puts Skull Woods into play then.
Absolutely,
at
yeah,
least
and with the fire
from
rod,
my
too.
point of view. I mean, it's not exactly the best play for item density, as I believe there's 2 items, but it is a crystal, so, you know, go for it.
A bottle and a unique item is fire-locked in Misery Mire. That's a very, very good hint. Now with the hammer as well, you know, Thieves Town is open and completable. Village of Outcasts, of course. So if you kind of wrap those all in with the Skull Woods play, and Kirito is opting to actually complete Eastern Palace. So we'll get an idea of what is on the Armos Knights here.
Now that's interesting. I'm not sure I agree with the play, but then sometimes you roll the dice and you come up with the 7, and sometimes you crap out. And I think we're going to see if Kirito comes up with the 7 or if he craps out here. I guess pet insurance, if anything here. But if I've been tracking my items correctly, I don't believe the Armos Knights actually have an item, aside from, I think, the compass is left.
It's the map, yeah, you're right. Oh, Kirito opting not to... Oh. Unless they... It looks like we got flippers in pod, I'm seeing in chat. I missed that. Must be in this dark room.
Yeah, Wall Kicks has flippers, so
So that's interesting.
the Palace of Darkness play very strong. Titans mitts and flippers just opening everything up. I think Kirito is gone off the deep end here. I'm confused. I think he rage quit out while the green pendant was dropping, and it looks like he's going back to go collect it now.
And unfortunately, it's not even the green pendant. It's one of the blue or red pendants.
Yeah, I should have said a pendant, not a green one, but
blue, yeah.
Oops.
Well, no, I say that because, with green pendant,
yeah, you could just
still have some value.
Joshua.
We're getting Skull Woods on Sleepy Night side. Nothing yet, but still fairly early, as Wall Kicks makes their way to basement of Pod. Steamo made the play into the bottom of Hera. Looks like they're gonna get the big key there and continue on. So this is interesting. We're getting a lot of kind of
variation in what our runners are doing. You have 4 runners in 4 separate dungeons. Kirito, finally, it looks like getting out of Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I guess Kirito didn't get that last item, and they had done the counting and figured, let me go back in there and get that 3rd item just in case. Just some money.
Yeah, Wall Kicks is made their way through and try to break the Helmasaur King's mask.
I believe it's 17 hits with the hammer, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, he's actually using the sword, and somewhere along the way he picked up an upgrade. That looks like a Master Sword.
Oh, yeah.
So that might also have been inside Palace of Darkness, because that's the only place it could have been, because Wall Kicks had a level 1 sword on his way in. So Titan's mitts, flippers, and sword upgrade in Palace of Darkness so far.
So Pod was obviously the play to make. Let's see what happens over at Sleepy Night at Skull Woods, taking down Mothula here. Just Fighter Sword and Fire Rod. It's a hard fight, but they're...
Well, you get your dodgeball training in here, duck, dip, dive, dodge, and dodge.
Kirito is going to make their way up to, looks like the Waterfall Cave. And we'll get their flute, I imagine.
Yeah, so Kirito going to head into Zora's domain. So that'll be the flute. As Kirito already has the gold, going to reset his sprite to be able to collect the chests in the waterfall cave. That's what I was missing before. That's why you need the moon pearl.
Right, because if you have to swim out and then swim back in, and the moon pearl is the only. If you try to do that without the moon pearl, you can't disable the swimming animation, which is why the moon pearl is necessary. Now, as far as why that technically happens in the code, I can't speak to that, but.
Well, at this point, it looks like Sleepy Night is going to be our second runner to collect a crystal. Wall Kicks are first. And it looks like Sleepy Night's headed back toward, or just actually looking for an item at this point?
Yeah, I believe there's one more item left in Skullwoods. So it looks like they're finishing off looking for that second item. And Wall Kicks is going to make their way up to Catfish, and I imagine use the mirror. And oh no, they've already been up to Zora, that's right. But they're going to take care of Catfish here.
Was there anything on the ledge for Zora?
There was not. I believe it was just a piece of heart, if I remember correctly.
Because all the time the runners went up there, I just space out and forget to check. Oh yeah, we've got the Zora ledge. At this point, we've got, Thieves Town open to us, at least to Sleepy Night, and I believe Wall Kicks as well. We've got Skullwoods, Thieves Town. With Wall Kicks having the mirror, the mirror and the flute, definitely going to be able to get into Desert Palace, the book as well.
And Wall Kicks now, also with that Titan's Mitt, can also check the medallion for Misery Mire, find out if it's Ether, and have to go do Aghanim.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for, is that Ether is going to block either Misery Mire or Turtle Rock. But Misery Mire is technically open for business, so long as we can get through the front door. Right now, I believe we can only check the Mire Shed.
Correct, and we will also need either boots or hookshot to, once we get into Mire, in order to get past the opening.
And it looks like Wall Kicks and Simo are both going to follow in Sleepy Night's footsteps and go for the Skull Woods play. Sleepy Night looks like going to go into the Village of Outcasts. Unfortunately, our chest game, 10 arrows.
Gyarados going for this bomb jump here.
Yeah, that's not an easy bomb jump. If you're off, it's gonna set you back a bit, unfortunately, and I believe that's 2 runners so far that have failed that bomb jump.
Yeah, it's a hard one. There's not really too many visual cues, It's kind of a feeling thing you gotta figure out. Chat bringing up to Checkerboard Cave as well as the Smith Chain is now open with Titan's Mitts for Wall Kicks. Also Hammer Pegs too. So we'll see if they make their way that way. And Sleepy Night dipping into Thieves Town here.
Yeah, with 4 chests right in the front, I think definitely a play worth making. Simo finishing just slightly before Wall Kicks, but I believe Simo had passed up the items along the way. So Simo's going to check the chests. Well, actually, Wall Kicks is going to go right back in as well.
Titan's Mitts were in Pod, for those asking in chat. Also in Pod were Flippers, as well as a sword upgrade. So Pod was a big play, and as of now, Wall Kicks is the only to make that play at this point. Oh, we're getting a pet check here.
Nice. Oh, boo! Boo! Boo hiss. That just ruins my whole dot. Can I get like call timeout and get a substitute in here? I'm done. Press F. Tap out.
Oh, there's still room. I mean, it's not completely. I mean, we still got the Aghanim play for Ether. You never know.
That is true.
And we got a unique item in Mire on the left side.
But yeah, definitely. Let's get those Fs in chat for the pedestal being confirmed dead.
So Wallkick Simo are going to finish up Skullwoods here. We know there won't be anything of value here. And Carito is going to grab the big key here, taking a little coffee break. Well, attempting to. And we're going to see if Carito... I imagine if they're going for the big key, they know it's down here, that they will continue up. And we get a clue that a piece of heart is with a grumpy fish, which we know, but that's good for Sleepy Night, who doesn't know.
Yeah, not going to head over to Catfish is probably that piece of heart not too relevant. And with the information, there's no reason to go out of the way for it either. Looks like Wallkicks and Simo both respectively bomb jumping across to get the big chest in Skull Woods. And there's our blue cane.
So that puts Spike Cave in logic, correct? Or was that already in logic with the bottle, the blue, because it was a blue potion?
Ooh.
I'm not sure if that counts in the logic or not. It was doable regardless, but as far as logic goes, it's definitely in logic now with that blue cane.
Now, unfortunately, the logic of the game is not one of my stronger suits. So to be honest with you, I'm not sure if it would have went, okay, you have the bottle and therefore you can go in here.
I don't believe it does. I believe it does not. But yeah, I can't confirm that for sure. We're gonna get a graveyard ledge here from Wallkicks.
Yeah, one way or the other though, we can definitely do the Spike Cave now, and I think at the end of the day, that's the important part of things.
And just some money.
Yeah, 50 rupees, not too impressive, so...
Now, Carito's up here on Death Mountain. Now, they don't have the Titan's Bit, so they're not going to be able to check the medallion for Total Rock, unfortunately.
Yeah, without the hook shot either, I don't think he can get over there onto that side at all.
Well, if they had Titans, they could go to the Total Rock entrance and use the hammer to find out. But no, they wouldn't be able to get down to.
Well, it looks like Spiral Cave for Kirito, and we know that's unfortunately just 5 rupees.
And Blind with the always amazing puns.
Yeah, let's see if Sleepy Night can keep this on script with Hammer. Looks like 2 more hits for Sleepy Night, and that should do it. Oh no. Unfortunately, Blind won that best of 3 there, getting Sleepy Night twice before Sleepy Night could get Blind twice.
And the unfortunate thing about that is that because Sleepy Night has entered the room, Blind actually will already be spawned. So as far as following the script, won't be able to. We say scripted fight because the blind fight will happen the same every single time. And so there is a quote-unquote script for it to beat it optimally. But unfortunately, a little bit of a rough turnout for Sleepy, but we'll see how they recover here. Kirito seems to be... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
For Blind, when Blind is spawned, Blind will do the same exact thing every time, like you said. But if Blind is waiting in the room, he does not follow the same path. So we're going to get an entirely different fight this time around for Sleepy Night. And this one's not looking good as Sleepy Night going to take another death. Ouch.
They will persist, though. They're going to keep going. Want to take care of this now while they're here.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely props to Sleepy Night for sticking through this. And I think Kirito spent some time in their item menu trying to figure out what they can do next.
Yeah, I saw that. There was a little bit of pondering going on there. But they're going to make their way to Paradox Cave. And while the rest of the party here is still doing their, going through Thieves Town here.
Now, if you're Sleepy Night, do you entertain trying to use the fire rod? Or is that not going to be an effective strategy to try to just snipe out Blind with the fire rod?
I personally, I love the fire rod just as a weapon in general, but of course it would depend on the preference of Sleepy Night and any runner in that matter. But because the nice thing about the fire rod is it's so fast.
Oh no! One hit away again for Sleepy Night. No. Oh no.
They could also opt to use the Cane of Burna, which looks like Chad is bringing up, but...
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at that full magic bar and I'm going, okay, if I'm Sleepy Night, how can I put this to use to be able to beat Blind? And it looks like, yeah, Sleepy Night, is catching what Chad is thinking as well, switching over to the Cane of Burna. And it looks like gonna go invulnerable strats as Simo, first try, takes out Blind.
Just for 20 rupees. So Thieves Town coming up empty. Except for the hint for those that didn't do Catfish, which is, I believe, everyone except Wall Kicks, right?
Wall Kicks, I believe, is the only one that has done Catfish so far. And I think will be the only one that does Catfish.
Right. In Sleepy's defense, that blue cane, it's happened to me. Sometimes you just kind of... It's not an item that you typically connect with many, many locations, so... Sometimes you just kind of forget you have it. At least I do. I won't speak for everyone. I'll speak just for myself, I guess. But they end up coming up here and walking away with the win. So
definitely a mistake I've made plenty of times myself, where I just go, right, yeah, and you just kind of fume about it a little bit, and then you go, all right. Enough's enough. Now I gotta try to get back on track. And I think that's where Sleepy Night's at. Wall Kicks, short work of Blind in the scripted section of the fight. Taking back his lead, now on 3 crystals.
We got some near 1 second off sync action here on Digging Game. from Simo and Sleepy Night. Let's see what Digging Game comes up with. Just 300 rupees.
I think that's all of our 300 rupee drops accounted for. The Digging Game. Let's see, one was in the waterfall.
Right, Waterfall Cave, and there was one really early on. Was it in, Oh, I'm thinking of the 50 drop from the uncle. Never mind.
Yeah, the uncle was a 50 drop, but I think the well was in Kakariko.
And we've got some dual celebration at this, some sync action here from Simo and Sleepy Night. Celebrating those ice rods. So it looks like I think we're probably looking for, we're looking for many things.
Yeah, that would be one of them.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, boots are definitely something we were looking for, and Sleepy Night and Simo finding the boots.
That's Stumpy there. And we're gonna get a Hype Cave check here. I was gonna say we're probably looking for Hookshot next. Just so we can get over to East Arc Death Mountain. You know, we can make our way. We can actually, provided once we get the medallion from Meyer. Meyer is in play. Of course, depending on that. Medallion.
Yeah, the medallions for Turtle Rock and Misery Mire are definitely going to be an issue. We have the Fire Rod and the Ice Rod, so Trinex is defeatable, but I don't believe we can get to him yet.
So Hype Cave, half magic and a sword upgrade. What would you, out of 10, what do you rate that?
Oh, well, we have the second shield as well. That moves it up from a 5 to a 6 for me.
And Wall Kick's going to do the Smith Chain here. I missed what was on Hammer Pegs.
The shield upgrade, not too important, but, you know. 2 out of 4 chest yielding items, so that's a 50-50, so not a medallion, so I can't really give it much more than maybe a 5 or a 6 on the Hype Cave. Ouch. Bombos tablet. Simo found Bombos somewhere. Or no, he just triggered the Bombos tablet with the book?
Correct, yeah, the Master Sword now in the book. So now the good news for Simo is that they have boots already, whereas I believe it was Kirito who entered Desert Palace early. I could be wrong about that. Looks like the red boomerang was at Hammer Pegs, which I missed before. Wall Kicks will be getting their boots here soon. And we're going to get to find out what is on Lanmolas from Desert Palace.
Well, at least we know that Lanmolas is going to have a crystal, but as to if he'll have something a little more useful, like potentially a entry pass into Misery Mire and or Turtle Rock, we'll see. I think that might be the one thing that's going to gatekeep our runners today, is being able to find the medallions to gain access to Misery Mire and Turtle Rock at this point.
Well, there's the blue boomerang, Desert Palace. Kirito making their way to
Skull Woods.
Yeah, they were about to enter the Mothula fight, but just mirrored back. I don't know if that was intentional or not. That might have been a mistake.
Well, I think on a scale of 1 to 10, Kirito is probably tilted off the face of the planet right now.
Thanks, game.
We'll see what exactly comes of Kirado's play. It looks like Wall Kick's not going to continue forward with any kind of swamp play. Just checking the dam, it looked like.
Oh, it looks like they haven't done Hype Cave yet, so we'll see where they go from here. We also have Ice Palace is in Logic as well. I know you typically don't want to, you want to, go mode Ice Palace if you can, but that is something that's open. And so if it gets to a situation where we still don't have the hook shot, do you dip into Swamp Palace and gamble that it's in there, or do you go to Ice Palace and do that?
I'm not a fan of trying to go into a palace where I need the item to finish it, hoping I find it along the way.
Right.
So, Swamp Palace is probably not something I would consider. But then again, there's a reason why I'm doing commentary instead of actively running. Wall Kick's picking up our silver arrows, and it looks like Ice Palace, like you previously mentioned, is next on the menu for Wall Kicks.
Let's see what this hint gives us here in Ice Palace. Okay. We haven't had a Myers shed check, have we?
I don't believe our runners would want to go over there at the moment, just because you're going to get debated by checking the Misery Mire medallion. It's kind of an out-of-the-way check right now, or what I would consider it to be an out-of-the-way check. I'd rather do it when I could actually, go into Misery Mire.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the runners didn't elect to. Because they don't have Titan's Mitts. That's why. So Wall Kicks
does, but Simo is also going to solve that problem as well. So Simo's going to hit the gold mine here of also known as Palace of Darkness.
Still no lamp. Still wondering where that could be. That could be an Ice Palace.
Well, there's plenty of places that are in Logic for Simo right now, but this is definitely the best play item-wise, because we know what he's going to find. That's, what should be a Tempered Sword, the Flippers, and Titan's Mitts.
Hookshot is, correct me if I'm wrong, Frico, but Hookshot is not required to beat Ice Palace. It's not required at all, but it is it will be in Logic for one of the items in Ice Palace. Is that incorrect? I believe that is the case.
I've got to think for a second, because I know the only palace that Hookshot is absolutely required in right now that our runners have access to is Swamp. I believe there's an area that you can Hookshot to an Ice Palace, but it's only for a semi-out-of-the-way chest, so you might be right if memory serves me correctly. But it's kind of one of those where you go, alright, I'm going to track my items, and if it's just a burrito, a compass, or something like that, then I know I don't even need to worry about it to begin with.
Right. And we've already got 2 items so far. 2 items that have not ended up being anything, but we're still looking for that third. But maybe if Wall Kicks finds it here, they can just go straight to the boss.
Well, the boss will also have an item. Oh, there's our last 300 rupee drop.
So with that, wall kicks can go straight to the boss here. We've got all 3 items.
Yeah,
Sleepy
not
Night
even
will be making their way up to... Oops, sorry to cut you off there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, wall kick's not even bothering with going to the big chest. We know it's got nothing of value, and going to head to the boss, like you said, but it looks like Sleepy Night's going to head into Palace of Darkness now as well.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because you can go down the bottom way. Chat saying if the first chest is a key, then you can get the hookshot part in Ice Palace, because you can go back around the other way through the bottom of the map. But, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that little tidbit, Link Force. Again, old man brain, so it's all mush right now. But Sleepy Night and Simo are on the right track here, at least for picking up some core items, the flippers and the Titansmiths, which we know from wall kicks are in Palace of Darkness.
And it looks like wall kicks, I imagine, is going to head over to Mire Shed. Yeah. And they also... So I had forgot that Simo and Sleepy Night did not have Titansmiths at the time, which is why I was bringing up the Mire Shed here, because with wall kicks, he can use the mirror and, take over Desert Palace and Mire together, provide, not Mire, but the Mire checks, that is. And I missed what was on the
didn't even
medallion
bother
there.
looking at what the medallion was, but that's a hook shot. So Mire Shed coming up pretty big here. Wall kick's picking up the hook shot.
Yeah, I think wall kicks did check it. I just missed it. It was too quick.
Unless that was the single arrow, but I thought I saw that in the chest game.
Oh no, that was the hook shot.
I'm gonna wait a second. I'm not going completely off the deep end yet, I thought, but wall kick's not interested at all at the Desert Ledge item, but gonna head into Desert Palace.
So yeah, it looks like along with chat, we weren't really able to catch what the Mire medallion was. I saw wall kicks peek at it, but I just missed it, and it looks like most of us did too. But we'll find out sure enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, I tried to take a look at it, but wall kicks just went right by it, and I think he didn't even look, just because he goes, okay, well, I have no medallions, I can't possibly get in there right now.
Oh wow, he didn't even look. Okay. Do we know... I don't remember if wall kicks checked Lumberjack Cave in the beginning.
Ooh, and Kirito picking up the Ognum killer there, the bug net.
Sleepy fortunately had that fairy there as they're working their way through this dark maze of Pod. Simo is heading to the boss here in Pod as wall kicks head to... Well, everyone's going to a boss.
Yeah, Kirito not too far away from delivering blind. Wall kicks gonna be our first. Oh wait, no. Stand corrected. Sleepy Night did finish Desert Palace previously. Ooh, Sleepy Night having a little trouble in the dark rooms for Palace of Darkness.
Which brings up, where is that lamp? I'm trying to think of where in logic it could even be. What haven't we checked?
What's our green pendant? Swamp Palace?
Correct, yeah.
It's about the first thing I would think is either early on or now it wouldn't be the green pendant turn in. I would hope not, because then it's gated behind so many different items already.
Right. Because Hookshot is Flute and Titansmiths, is blocked by Flute and Titansmiths, which were technically in logic. Titansmiths you could get without lamp. Because it was in the big key chest of pot, I believe. We know Graveyard Ledge
was 50 rupees, I
50
believe.
rupees, but I don't know if anyone's checked King's Tomb. And that looks like what Wall Kicks might be doing.
Yeah, the lamp is that kind of item where it's like, okay, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
We'll also still need the Cane of Samaria as well. That's something that we're going to be looking for.
Yeah, that's a Turtle Rock item. Won't be able to spawn the platforms without it.
And so, if I'm not mistaken, the Cane of Samaria could potentially be in Swamp Palace, but it could also be on the left side of Misery Mire, because we know there's a unique item there.
That is true. Kirito picking up his Ice Rod. A little bit behind right now, I think, compared to the other runners, with only having one crystal claimed so far. But it looks like he's going to pick up his boots. About the only other thing that could possibly be is the Smith chain. I think we saw the Hammer Peg Cave, but I'm not sure if anybody delivered the purple lunchbox, as we so call it. It looks like Simo's going to play the pyramid.
Yes, we do have the... nice. See if they can get this here. So it's a cool trick that Simo just did.
Nice.
Where you can... essentially, if you get... So anytime you're holding this and you get hit, the bomb, it drops the bomb. But if you do that and are able to dash through the next two screens and get onto the pyramid screen here, it'll actually just spawn back behind you. It's a neat little trick.
Yeah, Pyramid Ledge, 50 rupees. I knew it was a rupee of some kind for wall kicks.
And we have Quake. We have Quake in Pyramid Fairy.
So that potentially opens up Misery Mire or Turtle Rock. It looks like it might have been Ether showing on what looks like Kirito and Wallkick's trackers. So the plot thickens, as it were. Wallkick's actually a little confused as well, going into the escape sequence. This might be an Aghanim play at this point, knowing that we might need that Ether Medallion at this point.
Yes, thankfully with the mirror here, they can just mirror back to the entrance and make their way out back to the back end, the back door. Let's see if that's what they do. And that is what they will do. To answer you before, Frico, the smith's chain, I'm sorry, the blacksmith was, I believe it was just rupees. I don't know if the purple chest has been checked, though.
Well, at least I'm getting half of my wish here. Wallkicks is the first to deduce that this is an Aghanim seed, and here we go. So Wallkicks looks like they're going to be doing Aghanim to get the lumberjack item, which I believe is the Ether Medallion required for Misery Mire.
Sleepy Knight's going to be taking on Pod Boss here, Helmasaur.
Yeah, the Helmasaur King about to lose his throne here for Sleepy Knight, although...
Yeah, that's a tricky pattern there from Helmasaur.
Should go a lot quicker with the silver arrows. I believe it's just one shot to do it with the silvers. Helmasaur putting on a nice dodgeball audition there.
And we get a wonderful hint that there is some cash in Ganon's tower. That's really helpful. I hope my sarcasm is obvious.
Yeah, I think some cash is probably going to be in about half of the chests we see opened in Ganon's tower. So that hint probably not the most useful.
So I think this the lamp we know can't be in Misery Mire because the lamp is in logic for Aghanim's tower, which is where Ether is. So I think that just leaves Swamp Palace, right? Unless it's in Turtle Rock.
The purple chest. I know somebody tried to deliver it, but I believe they despawned it accidentally. So, that's a possibility?
We will get a hint, provided that a runner checks all of them. There is always a hint for purple chests, so perhaps our runners are just kind of waiting for that.
And for those who are wondering why Wallkicks is fighting Aghanim, Lumberjack had the Ether Medallion. And as we see on the trackers, that Ether Medallion is required for Misery Mire.
And of course I am mistaken. There is, as chat points out, I forgot that we had the hook shot, so Dark Death Mountain is obviously still open for a lamp as well. That would still be in logic too.
Now, I'm going to throw a little bit of a caveat into the hat, as Wallkicks and Aghanim have a competition to see who can spin themselves dizzy first. So Wallkicks finishes off Aghanim and is teleported to the Dark World. The Titansmiths were before or after the dark room?
Before.
Okay, so we did not. So technically, Palace of Darkness is meant to be double dipped.
Correct.
So that puts just about anything into logic at that point, with the Titansmiths being able to be picked up without too much interference. So it could be Dark Death Mountain. It could be the purple chest.
And it could be Swamp Palace.
We know it can't be Misery Mire because you need the Ether Medallion to get into it. And you would have had to have had the lamp before you get into Misery Mire, I think. But it looks like Wallkicks is going to have a go at checking out Turtle Rock and seeing what the requirement for Turtle Rock is.
SEMO is going to be making their way. It looks like they're going to be going up this way.
That's what it was. Thank you, chat. It was the flippers that were gated behind the dark room, which puts...
Oh, which means it can't be in Swamp Palace.
Swamp Palace out of contention.
Okay, let's see what we got for Turtle Rock here. Is it going to be Ether? Is it going to be Quake? Or is it going to be the unknown?
Survey says Quake. For Wallkicks, that is unfortunately a...
And will be a pleasant surprise for SEMO later on.
Who may actually be headed over there. The problem is neither of the runners are able to do much in Turtle Rock. They are lacking the Canis Samaria. And yeah, right on cue, the Canis Samaria shows up in the Hookshot Cave.
And what do they call that? They call that commentator's blessing, I believe.
Yeah, you did it twice, and now I just did it. Wallkicks checking Super Bunny, finding a butter sword.
Ooh, that's a good hint. Well, we've got a... So left side of Swamp Palace will not be required.
Well, hopefully no part of Swamp Palace will be required, as it is...
Oh, it's a pendant. That's right.
It is a pendant dungeon.
Yeah.
The only real kicker would be as if Sahasrahla is holding an item hostage on us here that we might need, but I'm running out of possibilities for what it could even be.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much in no mode at the moment. And now we are...
And wow, it seems like so long ago you mentioned Spike Cave being doable. And, you know, the 200 IQ first-time commentator play of, yeah, it's, you know, we should do Spike Cave because, you know, we have the tools. Oh, well done.
So we are in no mode. Wallkicks is going to head into... Now, the interesting thing here is that Wallkicks is not done Pyramid Fairy, so, and they know that there's a unique item on the left side of Mire. So is that unique item going to be where the big key chest is? And if it is there, will they go for it in hopes of finding Quake?
With what Wallkicks has been doing, because he went somewhat out of his way to check the Super Bunny chests, I think he's going to full clear. I don't think he will just kind of go, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to do Pyramid Fairy and go mode Misery Mire. I think the cape is probably something that could show up. The mushroom powder, that combo platter could cause Wall Kick some major problems by sending him off on a wild goose chase. If either of those two show up.
We are going to get the purple chest. We're going to find out what that is here from Sleepy Night. But Wall Kicks is definitely, you know, despite not knowing where Quake is, I would say that that's pretty much Wall Kick's only barrier here, while Simo still has to do Aga to get Ether, but they do have Quake. So a little bit of a reverse. My, how the turntables.
Now, I'm not sure if Simo checked Lumberjack or not, but it's been well over an hour. Oh no, Wall Kick's finding the mushroom. That might lead him a little bit of stray here. And Simo's gonna get the good news that he can open up Turtle Rock, but he's also gonna get the bad news of unfortunately not being able to do anything with it, as he will not have, well, for the time being at least.
Meanwhile, Kirito has finished Palace of Darkness, and they're going to be fluting off somewhere. It looks like they will be going to the Desert Palace area / Mire Shed, so they'll be getting their hook shot. And Simo's coming up on their Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, so this would be, yeah, turning right around for Simo and into Turtle Rock at this point. So, since we have the knowledge, Simo's going to end up in Turtle Rock, going to have to do Aghanim. Wall Kick's potentially going to get thrown a curveball because he has the mushroom. He may end up doing the witch's line, or potentially even setting up a fake powder as well. So, which we know is just going to waste him time in the way of being able to finish the game. It could find him a cape, but I don't see how anything would really help him at that point on Wall Kick's side of things.
Yeah, for Wall Kicks, it really is. I mean, you know, fortunately, Wall Kicks will at least, you know, just get this dungeon done for now. But for them, it's very much just when are they going to make that Pyramid Fairy check? That's as soon as they get that Pyramid Fairy check, they are on their way.
Yeah, I just think that with the mushroom showing up for Wall Kicks, that's going to detour him away from the Pyramid Fairy.
Well, we'll find out soon enough. And now we don't know if Simo checked Lumberjack Cave, but assuming that they have, they're in, you know, in no mode at this point.
Ooh, Simo getting sniped by the chain chomps there. Oh.
Sleepy Night is heading over here. Let's see if they're going to pop into Spike Cave here.
Oh, Sleepy Night is in a similar position to Simo, though slightly further behind. The pyramid has the Quake Medallion. The pyramid ledge had, I believe, 50 rupees.
That is correct, yeah. Ooh, looks like Wall Kicks is going to make the swamp play. Now, as far as what you were mentioning before, if Wall Kicks is going to maybe take that mushroom and go off with it, this might mean that Wall Kicks might make like a swamp play, which will obviously take up some time, but they might go straight up from there to Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It's just one of those things where it's like, all right, we know what Wall Kicks needs to do, and it's the Pyramid Fairy. The problem is there's so many, traps and pitfalls that Wall Kicks has unfortunately fallen right into one of them, and that's, going into Swamp Palace, which might even debate him further because he'll get the green pendant and try to turn that into Sahasrara, further pulling him away from the play that he needs to make.
Absolutely. And from their perspective, it's really not a bad play. It's there's 6 items here, plus the green pendant, so that's 7 effective items. And we know, I'm not sure if Wall Kicks knows, but we know that left side swamp isn't even necessary, so they can just go straight through this. So, just one of those things with Randomizer, It's a good, it's a good item dense play, but unfortunately we know that it's not the right one at this point.
Yeah, having the imperfect information that the runners have, unfortunately you're going to get an instance like this where you're just kind of, trying to go, all right, Wall Kicks, take my energy, please just go to the Pyramid Fairy, instead of, all of this madness with Swamp Palace, potentially going back to Sahasrara, then the Witch's Hut, which is not too far away from Sahasrara. It's just, I see this going in a direction that is not favorable for Wall Kicks.
Meanwhile, Simo is approaching the end of Turtle Rock here. Now they will be able to clear Turtle Rock. And from there, we have to hope that, for Simo's sake, that they make their way over to Agonim's tower.
Yeah, because that'll be the only thing he will have left, because Misery Mire is the only thing Simo will have left to do. And if Simo checked Lumberjack Cave, that would put him squarely in the lead. Right now, it's a little bit of I could still make an argument for Wall Kicks, although every second he's in Swamp Palace, that argument becomes a little bit weaker. So it's basically a race, not so much to finish the dungeon that they're in, but to find the key item that they're missing. For Wall Kicks, it's the Pyramid Fairy. For Simo, it'll be Aghanim.
Well, Wall Kicks did clear Swamp Palace. Not full clear, but Gotta give Wall Kicks credit there. That was a very fast clear of Swamp Palace. Obviously it's not. We know it's not going to work in their favor. Oh, it looks like they are dipping back in to check the big chest, but it could still be one of those things where, with the tight execution that they have, they could still technically be in the lead here, depending on
checking Laser Bridge. Unfortunately, I think that means that he does not know where the Quake Medallion is. Yeah, excuse me, Ether. You're right, chat. You got me.
So this is interesting. They both have the same, like you said, both are just looking for what the other person has. And both technically, were able to get the information on those items fairly early on. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, we got Kirito here. He's taking the old man. Just gonna get some rupees there. And Sleepy Knight is gonna finish off Tower of Hera. Gonna find out that this will not be fruitful. And unfortunately, Trolldorm living up to its name and knocking Sleepy Knight down as Simo enters the Trinex fight here.
Yeah, right now, Kirito and Sleepy Knight are behind Wall Kicks and Simo at this point. Wall Kicks needs Quake Medallion, which we know through Simo and Sleepy Knight is in the pyramid. Simo needs the Ether Medallion, which is in Lumberjack Cave. So Simo needs to finish Aghanim.
And we also know that Wall Kicks did not get the hint for Left Side Swamp, which is also an unfortunate missing of that hint. We knew from a previous hint, I forget where it was, it might have been in Thieves Town, but we knew that left side of Swamp. Oh, here we go. Wall Kicks is making their way to Pyramid Ferry.
Alright, so Wall Kicks not debating himself here. It looks like Wall Kicks is choosing to make the right play by delivering the bomb and not going off on further tangent by delivering the mushroom or the green pendant.
And having this little warp here saves just a little bit of time, make things a little bit easier. So Wall Kicks is going to be in go mode here very shortly.
Yeah, we see the countdown toward Wall Kicks being in go mode. And there it is. He's found it.
He doesn't even check that second chest. He's out of here.
And he's just like, yep, got what I needed. Gotta go. Bye. Simo finding the lamp in Spike Cave, so Simo, I think, is off on a wild goose chase as well at this point, not knowing that the Lumberjack Cave is what he needs to be doing to finish up his side of things. Sleepy Knight and Kirito could potentially catch back up, but at this point I would say Wall Kicks is very clearly in the lead at this point because he is in go mode and about to take on Turtle Rock, which is his final dungeon.
And fortunately for them, they will be able to go mode this dungeon and just get right on their way to GT.
Yeah, so hopefully that means wall kicks will not bother with Mimic Cave or Laser Bridge, which Simo did, and we can tell Simo is looking still because he's got a blacksmith in tow and looks like he's going to have a go at the Hammerpeg Cave. Finding the red orang, that's definitely not what he wanted.
I think I'm going to just take this time here to since most of our runners are kind of covering each other's tracks. I just want to give a shout out to our trackers here, Link Force and Tony Likes Games. You know, give them a follow. They're doing a lot of hard work here for the daily. You know, four runners is twice as many as two, and it's a lot of work. So special shout out to those two.
Yeah, definitely the unsung heroes. What goes on here? You know, we get to take front and center with commentary, but without the trackers, I'd be even more clueless. Well, it looks like Kirito is on the right track here, having a go with Pyramid Fairy. So that should be a good, you know, he's on the right track, about to pick up an item that he needs to, you know, help finish the run off. Kind of surprised he didn't just nope out of there, but Kirito is still lacking a couple items at this point. Gonna check the pyramid ledge as well, which not gonna do much. No, he's gonna warp. Aghanim.
Ah! Okay. Oh, slow roll.
Yeah, Kirito, what are you doing there, buddy?
It's so close, so close. The stars on the trackers for the crystals, that means that they are the red crystals, which you need both of those for the Pyramid Fairy, and the star next to the green pendant. The green pendant is dictates that that's the green pendant, which you can use to get an item from Sahasrara. Someone in chat was asking, so that's what these stars on the trackers mean.
Wow, for a first-time commentator, you're on point here.
And also too, we do have a first place finisher in the race, Ravis 10. Congratulations on first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 59 seconds. They are obviously not being restreamed here, but GG's to Ravis 10.
Yeah, as this is the daily race, there's, I believe, I did not get a official count of how many runners there are, but I believe there's around 25 runners, and, well, as you can see, we can restream 4 of them. Link Force with the official 31 runners.
So unfortunately for Simo, they have opted to dip Swamp Palace here, which we know will not have the item that they are looking for, which for Simo, that item is Ether, which is on Lumberjack Cave. That is the last item that they need. So a little bit unfortunate here. Hopefully they can make their way quickly through this so they can move on to their next guess. As Sleepy Night initiates Swag Duck in Kakariko Village. And we got a Trinex fight here from Wall Kicks. With Butter Sword, this will be fairly straightforward. Just 3 hits with the Butter Sword in each head. And coming up soon, we're going to be playing a little bit of a game here.
Ooh. Red.
So
yeah, with Wall Kicks not too far away, yeah, let's get it going right now. Why not? With Wall Kicks on his way to Ganon's Tower, we have 22 fine menu selections for where the big key could be. Get them numbers in chat. You know what to do.
And just a reminder for you too, if there is a speed gaming leaderboard. If you have donated 250 bits to any of the speed gaming channels, or if you subscribe to any of the speed gaming channels, you are eligible to be on that leaderboard for the guessing game.
Not so fast there, Sparky.
Oh,
that's
no?
only for the tournament races.
Ooh.
Daily races do not count toward the leaderboard. We will not be using the bot.
Oh, well then I had to make a mistake at some point, right? It's my first time.
Yeah.
So.
We'll let this one go, because I kind of knew you were going to walk into it, and I'm going, all right, no, got to stop him now.
Well, thank you for the for that. What's your guess there, Frico?
My guess is always 5 and always wrong, but it looks like 1 and 2 for Wall Kicks are out of there, as Wall Kicks is already in Ganon's Tower.
I'm going to go for lucky number 13.
A fine choice.
So let's see if Simo takes that green pendant and goes right for that.
Yeah, where before we were looking at and hoping Wall Kicks would not get jebaited, it looks like Simo, unfortunately, is getting jebaited. Ah, there goes number 5. There's number 6. But yeah, it looks like Simo is going to head over to Sahasrahla and then turn in the green pendant.
7 was just the big 20 up on the torch.
Simo starting to question a couple things here.
10 is just some arrows. 11 is a piece of heart. 9 was the magic powder.
Well,
Could be nice to
thankfully
have.
that showed up a little too late to really mess any of our runners up. But all right, Simo, where are you going now? Back into pod? Yeah, Simo definitely looking back and going, all right, what did I miss? And unfortunately for him, it's going to be a butter sword, I believe, that Simo missed in Palace of Darkness, as Wall Kicks continues on through Ganon's Tower. Kirito having a go at Cold Stare in his attempt to try to catch back up.
12 is the cape. 13 is the heart. 14 is another heart.
So the randomizer room not panning out for wall kicks. So there goes your 13 as chat pointing out. So both of us were equally wrong, although
I really wanted to get it just so I could make up for the wrong announcement.
oh, that's all right. Now, according to Link Force,
yeah, did I count wrong? I guess I was counting
must
wrong.
have missed a room, as Link Force is up to 18 already, and I thought that was 15.
Yeah, I thought so too, but we must have missed something.
But we get the Armos Knights, our little Armos on Ice performance.
And there it is.
Oh, not quite tile room, but oh boy, was it close.
That was very, very close.
Kirito is into the Aghanim Ascension in going back and confirming that Aghanim was in fact the right play. Sleepy Knight not far behind. Simo, unfortunately, about to get the bad news, as at an hour and about 42 minutes, he's going to check the Lumberjack Cave and not be thrilled about what he's about to find. Yeah. Sorry, Simo, but that is definitely going to be a rage and quit, and off to the Aghanim Ascension, which will put him on track at least to finish the seed. Kirito has both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock. Sleepy Knight has Ice Palace as well once they finish off the Aghanim Ascension in Hyrule Castle. And unfortunately, Simo, geez, how much time did pass when he finished off Turtle Rock to now? Unfortunately, all that exploring, turns into finally checking the Lumberjack Cave.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it was about 10 minutes or so. I believe they came out of Turtle Rock around 132, 133. Chat bringing up a good point. Kirito actually has made a pretty good comeback here. They just have Misery Mire and Turtle Rock to go. Fairly in sync with Sleepy Knight, although Kirito is one crystal up ahead of Sleepy Knight, so definitely a bit of a comeback here. Of course, Kirito still needs to... Oh, I guess they will. They're going to be getting their Ether Medallion after this, so...
Well, all three of our runners not named Wall Kicks are going to pick up their Ether Medallion at roughly the same time. But Simo's only going to have Misery Mire in go mode, whereas Kirito and Sleepy Knight are both going to have Turtle Rock as well. Sleepy Knight, unfortunately, even though it will be in go mode, still has Ice Palace on top of that as well. And speaking of finishers, while Kirito and Sleepy Knight play Geometry Wars, We've got a couple of them. You mentioned Ravis. Plasma Kappa was our second place finisher, 1 hour 34 minutes 20 seconds. It looks like Gloin was our third place finisher, 1:36:27 seconds. A couple minutes behind was Blaine in fourth place, 1:38:27. Matt 7898, our fifth place finisher, 1:38:43. Ganon's Gone Wild, sixth place, 1:40:52 seconds. CCZ Cube, seventh place, 1:41:14 seconds. And our last finisher so far, Malagord, 8th place, 1:42:54. So it looks like Wallkicks might be able to manage a top 10 finish if he can finish his geometry test and have a go at Ganon.
As Wallkicks takes down Ganon, we do have our 9th place finisher, Guitar Girl TS9, with 1 hour 46 minutes and 29 seconds. So let's see Wallkicks here take on the Big Pig to wrap things up for them. As the rest of the gang is off to get ether. So with Buttersword here and what looks like 16-ish hearts, if I can count correctly.
That is correct. Wallkicks on 16.
Should be
well, if there were an easy mode button and Wallkicks is pretty close to exactly where you would be, this should go not long at all. This is probably the longest section of the fight just because no matter how many times you hit him, he's got to jump up and stomp away a row of bricks, and this will be the fourth row.
Oof.
Oh, getting a little hug from Ganon, but this should do it.
Just one more hit here.
And here we go. This should finish off the fight for Wallkicks.
And with that, Wallkicks.
Oh, wait a second. There's a 3-pixel wide bridge. You know, the exhaust port was only 2 meters wide and and not everybody was able to hit it. You know.
So with that, Wallkicks has finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 57 seconds. GG to Wallkicks. Meanwhile, we've got Kirito finishing off, or just starting here in the beginning of Misery Mire, as Simo makes their way into Misery Mire, and looks like Sleepy Knight's gonna tackle on Total Rock.
I think I heard a intruder alarm. I think we're being joined by Wallkicks. Well done, sir. Oh no, Wallkicks setting off the intruder alarm, but looks like a little bit of an issue with the mic. But there we go.
Helps me have the right push to talk.
GG, Wallkicks.
GG's. Kind of annoyed, got tilted at the end, but hey, overall not bad.
I wonder why. Would you care to elaborate on what sent you off to Tilt Island there?
Should have kept with my instinct of not going into Pendant Dungeon and checked the big bomb before going in full clearing swamp.
Oh yeah. When you went into Swamp, I saw you pick up the mushroom, and I went, oh no. We've got 2 traps being laid for you, in the green pendant being picked up, defeating Argus, and then the mushroom being picked up in Swamp Palace, and I'm going, oh no. Here we go. We're going to see a fake powder, then a trip to the witch, over to Sahasrara, and it's all going to amount in a giant pile of frustration.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I had routed this overall really well up until that point. I did Dark Castle Tower for the first time. I know I had Fire Rod, but that was actually the first time I'd even attempted to do Castle Tower without the lamp. Found the lamp a few minutes later, but I was really pleased overall with how I played, minus going into Swamp.
Well, with imperfect information, you can't always make the right call. I don't disagree with it. It's just that, being able to see 4 streams, we knew where you and another runner were basically crisscrossing each other, and one of the other restreamed runners has only Vitreous left to defeat at the end of Misery Mire, where you needed to get into Turtle Rock. And they tripped up on going into Aghanim.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's, this is what Randomizer is. You make your gambles and you hope they pay out. Mine paid off for the most part, but one didn't, and it cost me probably a sub 140.
Yeah, other than that though, Wall Kicks, you were pretty much on point as far as your routing goes. And even then, you cleared through Swamp Palace very quickly. You went straight through it, and we were just over here, like Freako said, we were just over here hoping you weren't going to go down the other rabbit holes, given the new information from what you got in Swamp Palace. But fortunately for you, you just kind of shot up north, and it worked out. So
yeah, to be honest, I mean, I knew I'd gotten the mushroom there. I probably wasn't going to check mushroom. I think had it not been in Pyramid Fairy, I probably would have turned in Green Pendant, went into Eastern, checked Eastern, and then maybe checked the witch and turned in the mushroom. I don't know. The one thing that was just digging at the back of my mind the entire time was Purple Chest, because I screwed up Purple Chest as I was doing that route. I thought I picked it up and then immediately went back in the portal after checking Cave 45, and I noticed I didn't have it. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm never doing that. And thankfully that wasn't Quake. That would have been my absolute last location.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, because I thought I saw you despawn the lunchbox, and I think it was a piece of heart for delivering the lunchbox, so you didn't miss out on anything.
That's good. Yeah, I think I just my invincibility frames hadn't quite cleared out, so I left the cave. I walked over Purple Chest, thought I picked it up, didn't even think about it. Walked back in the portal, realized I didn't have the Purple Chest, and I knew right then and there. I'm like, it's not going to be there when I mirror again. So I mirrored, placed a bomb, and left.
Well, aside from the routing, was there anything else that kind of, went good, went bad?
I think overall my call to go fake flipper got me the flute, and instead of kind of going into the eastern area, I used that to go up the mountain, which led to my hammer. So I think I had really good routing again, minus the swamp play. So I'm overall very pleased with how this went.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty lucky go, because I think you hit a 300 rupee chest in the waterfall cave.
I did. So yeah, that was definitely a little lucky. But hey, sometimes you need a little luck.
Because think I was decrying the play. I'm going, all right, he doesn't have enough to check Zora. And if you didn't hit that 300 rupee, I was going, oh no. We're going to have an item on Zora, and you're going to end up orphaning either something on the ledge or something on Zora. And, it worked out, thankfully.
Yeah, it's called calculated.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
gonna have to figure that out one of these days.
Was there ever a point wall kicks that you? I imagine, because that it's true. Like, your routing was pretty spot on, so there's not really too much to wonder. I guess the only thing I'm curious about is if you was there ever a point that you really maybe felt like you were far behind? Did you have a moment of oh no, like I'm far behind? Maybe other than after Swamp Palace.
Sure. I never felt terribly behind. I got the hint about Ether being in plain sight, and that's what led me to deduce that it was eventually in Lumberjack Cave, because as I was kind of going along, I was doing all of the plain sight location checks, and so after doing Desert and checking the Desert Ledge, which I think was my last plain sight location other than Lumberjack, I made a beeline for Lumberjack, kind of to just confirm, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and sure enough, there was Ether. I could have maybe put off doing Dark Aga a little bit, but I knew it was there, and I wanted to do it. So I think I had no problems. I think overall, I'm really pleased with how this turned out, like I said.
Yeah, that's a great play that because I thought, I wasn't sure, I wasn't positive, but I thought you didn't check Lumberjack early on. And so that was running through my head if you knew that, but the fact that you were able to deduce that from the hint, I mean, it's a very, very remarkable play. So GG's on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I tend not to check Lumberjack in open mode, at least not until I have boots or something.
Yeah, I just remember somebody checking it early on, and I know we saw it was a medallion either through the hint or somebody actually checking the Lumberjack Cave, but that was what feels like a long time ago at this point, either way. So, out of the restreamed runners, Simo was your closest competitor, but he had a similar issue, but with what was it? The Quake medallion, I believe.
It was the Ether medallion. So Simo did not know that it was Lumberjack Cave. So unfortunately for Simo, they were actually, while you were hunting for Quake, they were hunting for Ether, and they did not know that it was on Lumberjack Cave. So it was this interesting little two-way action going on between the two of you, because you were scrambling for Quake and they were scrambling for Ether. So
yeah. That's really interesting, and I'm looking. I'm on the stream now. I see I'm the only one that picked up silvers.
Yeah,
so far, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look like anyone else will. Because they were sitting on Lake Hylia Island.
Yeah, I believe you're the only one to have checked Lake Hylia Island at this point. Do you remember where the hint for the plain sight item was? Or the Ether being in plain sight?
I think it was Tower of Hera.
That's possible, because I went into Tower of Hera, checked the basement chest, saw a piece of heart, checked the hint, checked the other chest, saw it was a small key, knew the big key was fire locked, and noped right on out of there. So it might have been Hera.
Because I don't think it was Ice Palace, because I feel like that was too late. I think we learned of it much earlier than Ice Palace, and it wasn't in Swamp. And I believe, yeah, Hera did. Okay, yeah, chat's confirming. I was gonna say, because I remember the Spectacle Rock hint. It was Hera. But
Yeah, and that was that was also quite a lamp location. Finding it after I did Dark Aga in Spike Cave.
Yeah, we were
certainly.
wondering about that the whole time. We were like, where, you usually find lamp a little bit earlier than this, but yeah.
Especially
the
in
lamp
Nagaseed.
knocks so many things out of logic by not having it, which meant, I believe, the flippers were out of logic. I can only assume Palace of Darkness was meant to be double dipped, because you got the Titan's Mitts early on, which was not, technically lamp blocked.
Yeah, I don't know pod key logic well enough. The only thing I know about that is that there's got to be 4 in the front. I don't know what technically makes that vanilla big key chest quote unquote lamp locked. But
Lantern lock is
or
the dark room. You have to go through the dark room to have obtained the flippers, I believe. So that means it would not have been in logic until going into Spike Cave to get the lamp.
True.
But where was Cane of Burna again?
Burna was in Skullwoods.
So, which means...
So you didn't need to double dip pod.
Yeah, you could
if
technically...
If you're routing into Dark World, you went to Village of Outcasts first.
Right.
You would have just kind of needed the knowledge to go back to Death Mountain after picking up Burna.
I think what the game wants you to do, and what you end up doing, especially when it comes to dark rooms, leaves a lot of wiggle room. But the flippers, I think, might have given an issue later on with the way the items were distributed in Palace of Darkness. Sorry, I hit a little bit of lag there.
No worries. I wanted to thank you guys for putting this on and letting me be on the restream. You guys do an awesome job here at Speed Gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. Got any parting thoughts for us, Wall Kicks, before you head on out of here?
Just GG's to the rest of the runners, and GG to Ravis. I know he's in chat right now. He won, so congrats to him. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck in going forward. You happen to be in the tournament that's going on right now?
I'm not. I just do this kind of, as a hobby right now.
Ah, okay. Well, good luck the rest of the way, and hopefully your future runs are a little smoother than this one.
Thank you, guys, and thanks again for hosting me.
Yeah, GG, Wall Kicks.
GG's, guys. Take care.
Well done. And with that settled, Simo is into the geometry test, as I believe Sleepy Night is trying to finish off Turtle Rock?
Sleepy Night just entered Misery Mire, although I may be on a slight delay, but we got Corrito in Turtle Rock. So we're pretty much all, one dungeon up here with the remaining three runners. As Simo takes down Aghanim. And we'll be making their way to the Big Pig. Gonna get some bacon.
Yeah, and with all that said, I've got a little catching up to do with our runners. Chris, our 10th place finisher, 147.01. Sabotender, 11th, 147.15. Salty Fry, 12th place, 147.36. Frostbite 13th, 147.40. Now, Wall Kicks, we already know, our 4th place finisher, 147.57. Scrub Casual, our 15th place finisher, 1 hour 50 minutes 7 seconds. Big Dunka, 1 hour 53:29. JC Anderson, our 17th place finisher, 1:54:59. And our last finisher, and we have one more finisher, Sanders 316, our 18th place finisher, 2 hours 3 minutes 20 seconds.
And with that, we are on the 4th phase of Ganon here for Simo. Tried to get the torch glitch, unfortunately was just a little bit short there. And as Simo works their way through this, oh, they do not have silvers, so they will be doing the silverless. That's right.
Yeah, this is going to be a little rough for Simo and the rest of our restreamed runners, as there's a pretty big chance that we're not going to see silvers being used against Ganon at this point forward.
And this is not, you know, I think that often for those of us that have watched a lot of randomizer streams, the silverless fight is very difficult. You know, it's really not an easy thing to do. Of course, for those that are out there that do this extensively, it can look a lot easier than it is, I guess what I'm trying to say.
Wow.
So.
With Simo, you're kind of seeing what happens when things go not entirely to plan, because missing that torch glitch, you've got to run back and forth to both of the torches, and then you have such a small window to spin and hit Ganon, and I believe you've got to hit him 12 times in this final form to take him down, and you can only hit him when both of those torches are lit.
And it can only be with the spin move after the Firebird is spit out when he's in his invulnerability frames. And the only way you know you got to hit is if he makes the sound.
And Simo's in a little bit of trouble here. If he gets a little too close to Ganon and gets hugged, that might be able to take him out. But that's the final hit for Simo. So we're going to have our second restreamed runner finishing, hopefully in the very near future.
And with that, we've got Simo with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 44 seconds. GG's to Simo.
And he is our 19th place finisher, so no one else finished just yet. So Kirito and Sleepy Night going to stick things through here to the end. Sleepy Night, unfortunately, still having Ice Palace, but with Misery Mire and Turtle Rock out of the way, this should go, well, relatively speaking, fairly quickly. Kirito on the quest to find the big key. That sounds like a intruder alarm to me, so I believe we are being joined by Simo.
Yeah, hi.
GG, Simo.
Thanks. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I think fun is a good way to describe it, right?
I wasn't expecting it to be an Agaseed when I found the lamp so late, but that was in logic from like the beginning.
Right. Yeah, it was just that chase for ether. What was kind of going through your head at that point when you finally found it?
I feel less bad that it was there than if it was in pot or somewhere else where I skipped something.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, it was just one of those things where it was like it was just that one, that one go mode item, and it happened to be there, and the plays we were making were great plays, very item dense locations. But yeah, we were just all we were rooting for you to head up that way to Lumberjack Cave there.
Just bonking my way through everything. I was happy he was there anyways. At least I knew where to go.
Right. Yeah, if it's gonna be in a location that's gonna take you a long time, at least it was one that was just like ridiculous. Then like you said, then it just being like in pod or something where like you just kind of, whiffed past it. But yeah, GG's. It was definitely an entertaining seed, to say the least.
How did I end up doing on the restream?
Out of the restreamed runners, you finished second. Although
nice.
I believe you were 19th overall. So in that regard, it was a little rough, but I think the quest for the medallion took you quite far out of the way. I believe there was a hint in Tower of Hera. Did you go into Tower of Hera at all?
I did, and I think I wasn't sure if I had seen an ether hint or if it was like a seed I had played another day, maybe.
Yeah, they all tend to get mixed together, don't they? The hint in Hera was that ether was in plain sight, so it wasn't a direct. It wasn't a direct hint that it was on Lumberjack Cave, but that was the hint that it was in plain sight.
Yeah, if I had remembered that, at least would have saved me a little bit of time.
Yeah, it might have found you the silver arrows as well, because they were on Lake Hylia Island.
I
So if you were
actually
going-
saw those at the beginning, but I figured that it's not something I should go out of my way to get.
Now, that's actually interesting, if you don't mind my asking. Do you think it's worth it to have them for that Ganon fight, as opposed to having a go at Ganon Silverless? I don't know if it was just this particular seed, but didn't look like that
The
Ganon
pressure
fight
was on,
went
I guess, and I
quite
forgot
the way you wanted it to.
Yeah, kind of messed up the torch glitch at the beginning. I forgot about it. That made it a bit rough. But if it's if the torch glitch is set up, I don't usually have too much trouble with the silverless game. Maybe there's some nerves from playing on the restream as well.
Ah, that is true. Have you been restreamed before, or was this the first time? Just out of curiosity.
This was my first time.
All right, congrats. GG, it's my first time too. Not being restreamed, of course, just commenting. But
Yeah, we're in this together, buddy.
Yeah, we are all in this together, that's for sure. For those sticking around, Kirito unfortunately running out of arrows. And I believe if he were to have done a little spelunking, would have found arrows underneath one of the skulls, but unfortunately I believe he chose to mirror out.
And it looks like they just got a 10 arrow drop there. I don't know if they have the... yeah, they do. They have the big key. Okay. Also, too, we do have our... we've got Danny Music finishing in 20th place with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 39 seconds. Just to keep up the speed. But yeah, Simo, while we got you, any kind of additional thoughts or any specific moments that maybe you felt super, super far behind other than maybe
Like, I thought everything was going okay. I made a couple of misplays. Like, I was disappointed to find the hook shot after I had just been up on Death Mountain. Like, it would have been better to go do Meyer first, and making lots of like little execution errors. So I knew I wasn't gonna finish close to the front. But overall, like, I feel like I had played fairly well and kind of knew where I had to go.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And I mean, you can't, going up to Death Mountain is obviously a more item dense spot anyway than going for 2 items and, Mire Shed. So obviously there's no fault there. But yeah, honestly, I would agree with you. I think it was a great stream.
Yeah, well done, Simo, in toughing this one out. It definitely was not an easy seed. There were a lot of traps that would have presented themselves. Swamp Palace being one of them, giving the green pendant, which I believe you turned in, as well as the mushroom.
I don't think did I turn in the mushroom? Did I even get that?
It's not showing on your tracker that you got the mushroom, but I know the mushroom was in there because both you and Wallkicks took a detour into Swamp Palace, trying to hunt down your respective go mode needed item, which was a pendant. I believe you had Quake and were looking for Ether, and Wallkicks had Ether and was looking for Quake. I might have that backwards, though.
No, I think that sounds correct.
I think it was between the pair of you, Wallkicks needed to go into the Pyramid Ferry, and I believe you needed to head up Oghenim's Tower to get the Lumberjack Cave, which...
Oh yeah, right. I was pretty sure something was going to be in the Pyramid Ferry, so I ended up getting Quake a bit earlier.
Yeah, you did have it fairly quickly out of the restreamed runners. That's for certain. But do you think you're going to start routing in a little peek into the Lumberjack Cave going forward?
I used to do it more often. I've been trying to do it less because usually it doesn't pay off. Like, I should have just done the boots checks a bit earlier, I think. Maybe when I got the boots. I think that was probably the mistake I made there.
Because you were at about an hour and a half into the seed, and I think you were at Turtle Rock, finishing that, and, well, being we get to see 4 different runners, we know what 4 different runners know and can combine that knowledge. And it just seems interesting that the Lumberjack Cave was what ended up eluding you for what felt like a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was guess it wasn't the best play saving it for so late. But I know that lots of people tend to skip the lumberjack cave. So just in general, to try to speed up my play, I've been trying to cut out little things like that.
Yeah,
It
for
just
sure.
didn't work out very well here.
No, yeah, and it obviously makes perfect sense, and most of the time it's not going to be there. So I would agree with that strategy.
Yeah, it's those out of the way checks, like in a Guinness cave or the lumberjack cave, checkerboard cave. I can think of a couple of them where it's just that one thing, and you kind of overlook it, and then you happen to get that one seed where, oops, sorry.
I guess it's just about finding the balance between checking everything and doing everything. And, knowing when it's okay to skip stuff and when you have to full clear something.
Right. It's definitely a good point, though, that I feel like maybe a year ago or a year and a half ago, it was like every runner checked Lumberjack Cave, but it's definitely a not as popular play now. Like, it's definitely something that you could even argue the majority, like you said, the majority of runners don't check it. That's obviously subjective, but I do remember it kind of being a standard play to check it. And then, I think it was like V29 or V30 even, it became increasingly less popular to check it. So I think that that's a good point, in that just the nature of kind of what's popular and what's not, kind of knowing where you're at with the rest of the field as well. I don't know if you'd agree with that, with the way I phrased that, but that's kind of what I was maybe thinking was one of your points.
Well, I think you summed it up pretty well there, what I was saying about it.
Well, I'm a big numbers guy. To me, I'm going, all right, it's about a 1 in 7 chance that Lumberjack Cave has something. It may not be, something you go out of your way to get, like if it's a sword upgrade, for example. And then it's about half that 1 in 7 chance is an item that's going to be likely required. So, it's about 1 in every 14 runs, roughly speaking, you get that lumberjack cave. So the math dictates that it's probably going to be a waste of time to check the lumberjack cave. And I think with the speed running community as it is, anytime you can shave off a second, much less a couple of seconds, you're going to do it in the name of, oh, well, I'm going to save, 5 seconds by not checking the lumberjack cave. But something's going to be there that one time out of 14, and I'm going to go, Lisai.
Like, I do know you can route it in pretty easily at the beginning. Like, you go up, you can check the poultry and the bush crab. So it's not really a bad play to go do it. I just feel like when I see the better runners, they don't tend to make the play.
Ooh, Hirudo unfortunately getting a... Oh, they do have a fairy, though. Sorry to interrupt you there, Simo. Kirito just took a almost death there on Ganon. Was revived from a fairy, as they are in the last phase here of the Ganon fight. But yeah, Simo, I know exactly what you mean. For lack of a better term, better runners. But yeah, I do agree with your assessment before, though, as well, which was that maybe perhaps an opportunity to have checked it was when you did the boots locations. But then again, it's still, you know, when you're like Frico's saying, it's like it's 1 in 7, so you know, so it's just kind of what you know, that's randomizer for you. So
Well, to break that down a little bit, you know, I figure there's 216 items in the game. Roughly 30 of them are useful. Boil it down, 3 in 21. You know, you reduce your fraction, so 1 in 7 at its basic value, you know, of any given chest, or, you know, anything that counts toward that 216 collection rate is going to be a useful item.
oh, and unfortunately, Corito taking a fall there on the Ganon fight, so they are going to be making their way back up to the top. Sleepy Knight making their way through GT as well. We also had our 21st place finisher, Praz Boy, with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 51 seconds. So it looks like Corito's gonna, I'm assuming, is gonna go get some potions here.
Yeah, Corito ran out of magic and realized it. Basically, he was in a bad situation where if he gets hit, he's dead. He can't do anything more because he's out of magic, unfortunately. And just not the best situation to be in there. Taking a refill from the apprentice and gonna pick up some potions. Definitely has enough money to fill up on some potions here, but that was definitely, as Stormrider in the chat points out, Kirito just kind of bailed out at that point because, well, he was either going to die or, you know, just bail out and try to restock.
Yeah, that was my mistake there. I did not realize that they were out of magic. That makes perfect sense.
Sleepy Knight is approaching Moldorm 2, and it looks like that trivial battle is decided on Sleepy Knight's side. And Kirito is going to start the rematch, and it looks like Cape Strat's coming into play, which I think he's a little too aggressive with the Cape, but having half magic, it might still work out okay. I believe Kirito has 2 blue potions and 1 green potion to back up with. And Kirito, I believe, also had the unfortunate mishap of missing the torch glitch. So hopefully he'll be able to get it this time around. Oh no, doesn't even go for it this time. Sleepy Knight is in the geometry fight. Kirito is trying to put the finishing touches on a Ganon's fight, and I believe there's potential for a few other runners to finish up, but I think once Kirito and Sleepy Knight finish up, we'll bring them in for an interview if they're so willing, and then we're going to shut it down for the night. And unfortunately, both Kirito and Sleepy Night's audio is unusable, so you only get to listen to our charming voices the rest of the way. Sleepy Night finding out it's not a good idea to hug a Ganon.
Yeah, unfortunately, taking a that time was an unfortunate, unintended fall there. While Sleepy
Kirito
Night,
trying to get a little death insurance. Unfortunately, not able to pick up the ferry.
so Sleepy Night has managed to, in relation to Kirito, managed to kind of pull ahead here with that.
Well, Sleepy Night unfortunately does not have any magic in the bar right now. Unless Sleepy Night has something hiding. Oh, there we go. There it was. There's the blue potion. And it looks like going economy mode and trying to set up the lantern. So hopefully we'll see Sleepy Night get the torch glitch.
Okay.
So it looks like Sleepy Night, having the advantage of setting up the torch glitch properly, might be able to run Kirito down. Sleepy Night's got a couple hits in here, and Kirito is about to head back into Phase 4.
Pardon my gasp, but Sleepy Night just walked on thin ice there. Off of his spin move.
Yeah, that's a little too close for comfort there. The recoil with these spin slashes is definitely going to be something to keep in mind. You're going to get pushed, and if you're too close to the edge, off you go. Bye-bye. And that restarts the fight from square one if you get sent off the ledge there.
So if Sleepy Night can just stay alive here.
Oh, Kirito falling again. Oh no.
Ooh, that was close.
So this is unfortunately what you end up having happen without the silvers. You get these nightmare fights where it's just... ugh. Yuck. But
Sleepy Night able to pull through there, and will finish in 22nd place with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 33 minutes, and 32 seconds.
I like the SRL comment. Almost broke my computer. I think if I were playing in this seed, I'd probably be about 3 controllers deep at this point. Because if I would have had what happened to Wall Kicks or Simo, that definitely would have been another controller in the wall. There we go. Let's get the GGs in chat for Sleepy Night, and hopefully we can get Kirito through this Ganon fight. He's had a rough time of it. I believe this is the 4th attempt at the Ganon fight. Unfortunately, Kirito not going for the torch glitch, and I think that might cost him here. Oh, that sounds like an intruder alarm.
Looks like we might have Sleepy Night here.
Yeah, I think just have to unmute themselves, and Sleepy
Hey
Night should be
guys.
joining us.
Hey,
Ah,
Sleepy Night
hello.
GG.
Thank you.
Well, that
I'm
was
so
a
angry.
well.
I tried to burn
Hey,
Ganon's tower to the ground.
oh, it's all right. It's late at night. Join us here on the couch and tell us of your troubles.
Honestly, man, I thought I was gonna crush the seed and like set a PB the way it started, and then I died to blind with like one hit left, and then it just went downhill from there. And then I died like 17 times on Mordorn, which I didn't even need to be in there. I was just like convinced it had to be there.
Yeah, this seed was a bit rough. There were definitely traps to catch the runners out with. And Kirito actually bailing out on the Ganon, just running out of magic yet again. So this is a very rough fight for Kirito. He actually got into the Ganon fight before you did, Sleepy, but you were a little better with the execution, I must say.
I would say my most practiced thing in Link to the Past is Master Sword Silverless for some reason. I guess I'm just like a masochist, but I spent, like 8 hours one day just doing Master Sword Silverless, trying to figure it out. So,
Yeah, the
if
Ganon
anything-
fight was smooth. Yeah, your Ganon fight was smooth.
but Mini Moldor whipped my butt.
No, that's all right. It happens. I think aside from the little hiccups against the bosses, was there anything that went right for you, or was it just a trip straight to Tilt City once Blind took you down?
No, so like I've never done dark rooms really before, other than like the mountain and the small one in Eastern. So getting through Pod without a lamp for the first time was pretty huge for me. So I forgot about that though, but yeah, it actually turns out I'm pretty excited now.
Yeah, good
Thanks for turning my
job.
night around.
No, if that was your first time doing I mean, like, especially in a run, good job. I mean, that's not easy to do, especially kind of on the fly like that. So,
I just been telling myself like I had to do it like for a long time, and then finally just like went for it. I don't know. I get really I guess I'm afraid of the dark. Like I get anxiety in the dark rooms.
Did
Well-
you Oh, go ahead, Frico. Sorry.
I was gonna say, you eventually found the lamp in the Spike Cave. So, was there anything that would have brought you over to the Spike Cave a little bit earlier?
I thought about it, and like I used Emo Tracker, and it was in yellow with the Cane of Burna. So I was like, maybe I can't make it there without the hook shot. I didn't really know what I could do or what I couldn't do, and I guess if I would have just tried it, I probably would have gotten it, and my life would have been easier. Because I think I got Burna pretty early, and Hammer.
Well, you actually weren't alone in that. Not many got it very early on at all. Almost all of our runners got the lamp just much, much later in the stream. I think everyone kind of, maybe Wall Kicks got it a little bit sooner, but for the most part, everyone kind of got it around the same time, like around when you did, just much, much later in the stream. So, so you weren't alone in that regard.
Where were the flippers? Because I actually didn't get them. I just kept
Oh
flipping
wow, you
glitching my
didn't
way
get
around.
them. That's right. They were in the Dark Maze of Pod.
Oh wow, I was pretty close. Yeah, I just kept I couldn't figure out where I was, and like me moving down and the flames moving up, I just got totally like disoriented and lost, and I like couldn't move anymore. I just died, and I was like, all right, this isn't gonna work today.
Right. It's interesting though. It's not required. Flippers weren't required. I kind of took that for granted because it was in the dark maze. But yeah, that's interesting that they weren't even required.
Yeah, Zora had the flute, which you don't need the flippers for. Swamp Palace is the only other thing that comes to mind that requires the flippers.
Right.
That and Lake Hylia Island, I think.
Well, that would have given you the silvers, Lake Hylia.
Ooh,
Sleepy, would you say that you, one thing I'm always curious about is just like, did you make any plays in this race that you don't typically make? That you said, I'm going to do it, other than the dark rooms, of course, but kind of any plays that were like, oh, I'm going to try this even though I don't normally do this?
Sequence breaking up to Death Mountain, like pretty early. Like as soon as I had a sword, I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to dark room and sequence break up there. And then I ended up getting the hammer and something else for it, the Book of Medora. So
Right, which
I was
brought you
like,
to Desert, right?
yeah, and then I was like, oh, boots locked. I kept telling myself because we got so much money in this seed that I was gonna go to Zora early, and I just kept forgetting because I just kept finding stuff. So, but like that was something that I definitely never do that. I usually avoid the dark, like a plague. Like I would have last locationed it.
We do have our 23rd place finisher T-Money 7 with 2 hours, 40 minutes, and 45 seconds.
Yay, T Money. GG.
As Kirito is sticking it out here, gonna get this pig down.
Yeah, this is, oh no, he went for the torch glitch that time and unfortunately, still missed it. But, hopefully, Kirito will take down Ganon. And, hopefully we're gonna be here to see it and they don't, give us the hook here, but, we'll see what happens. Now back to you, Sleepy Knight. Is there anything that really threw you off with this seed, or was it really just trying to go, all right, this is what the tracker's telling me that I should be doing next, and so I'll go there?
I was feeling like really good about the seed, and when I like went up and checked T-Rock and it was quick, I was like, all right, maybe I'm gonna get lucky. Meyer's gonna be quick too. And then finding out like late in the seed that I was an Aga just kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, I kind of put it out of my mind. I was like, there's no way it's gonna be Aghanim at this point. And then like at an hour and 40, I'm like, oh, it's Aga seed. Because lumberjacks.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually out of the 4 restreamed runners, 3 of you were in the Aga Ascension at the same time, at various points of it. And you were unfortunately the furthest behind at that point. Simo had only Misery Meyer. Kirito had Misery Meyer and Rock. And I believe you had Ice Palace as well.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, because I did T-Rock before I did Ice Palace and Meyer. I think I did T-Rock before I did Aghanim. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I think you did Ice Palace last, if I remember.
That actually felt pretty good.
TR, and then Meyer, and then Ice Palace. Yeah.
I think that was like the fastest Meyer I've ever done. Is that God Meyer when the big key's like right there?
Yeah.
Oh, that was so cool. I was like, I said it in my stream chat too. I was like, I hope this is a God Meyer, and I was like in and out in like 2 minutes. I was like, oh, this is sweet.
And did
I
you
know.
get the hint that there was a? Well, I guess you didn't. You were in go mode at that point, but there was a hint that there was a unique item on the left side of Meyer, the Firelock side. So, but you were in go mode at that point, so it didn't matter. But
Yeah, I did get the hint. What was the item?
I don't remember actually. Was
What
it
was the hint?
There was a hint that there was a unique item and a piece of heart, locked, fire locked in Meyer. And I know someone. I forget who full cleared Meyer, but I don't remember what the item was.
I wonder what it could have been. Because I guess what way were you supposed to do this like logically?
That's kind of hard.
Yeah, trying to remember what's happened like 2.5 hours ago. Oh boy.
Because the mitts were in pod, but the flippers were.
Well, the flippers were the only part of what was lantern locked, and it turns out you didn't need the
Didn't even
flippers.
need 'em. So I guess the way you quote unquote were supposed to do this was get Titans, go up Death Mountain.
Come on, Kirito. One more hit.
Well, I think, going into Spike Cave a little earlier than most of the runners did, I think would have opened things up to a pretty big... So I think that's about the only thing I can think of is Spike Cave just earlier.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely gonna put that one in my like feedback pile or brain or whatever, because I guess that would have taken away like my biggest weakness as a player probably, other than boss fights, which normally I don't have too much trouble with. Those two specifically, but dark rooms, lamps.
And
Yes! GG.
GG's to Kirito. As
Oh,
they,
wow.
we do have one more thing to do. Okay, and they sprint across. GG's to Kirito, 24th place with 2 hours, 47 minutes, and 11 seconds.
That was a bit rough. I think that was about the 7th or 8th attempt for Kirito there against Ganon, but able to pull it through. Oh.
Yeah, I know
Alright,
I wouldn't be able to keep going. So,
is there anything you'd like to say? I don't know if Kirito is going to join us or not, but with this getting close to 3 hours at this point, I think we're going to call it a night in the near future.
No, man, it was fun despite being tilted, and I appreciate you guys commentating us, and I appreciate the trackers. Oh, GG and good night.
GG,
have
sleepy night.
Have a good night.
Okay, looks like we are being joined.
Yeah, it looks like Kirito joining us here. Hopefully work out the mic issue real quick with Kirito, so have a little interview. Sounds like a little bit of static going on there, unfortunately.
Alright, my mic doesn't like to work with me at times.
Oh, that's alright. We can hear you now.
GG, Kirito.
That's probably the worst Ganon silver fight I ever had in a long while.
Well, I guess it's the mindset heading into that fight. This seed seemed to be a bit trolly in how it presented things. Was there anything that really sent you for a loop, or was it just... Ugh.
Well, mostly I try to stay in logic. As you saw, the only thing that I didn't really stay in logic was going into the waterfall of wishing.
I don't recall the waterfall itself having anything aside from potentially giving you 300 rupees to then head to Zora with to get the flute.
The only thing I didn't really find was the lamp because that wouldn't the Ganon fights on and saving me a whole bunch of.
That was Spike Cave, was the lantern.
What's that to cash for that requires a hammer? Those two.
Oh, the hint?
The hint to there was a hint to that says that that requires a hammer.
Well, that would have been you need the hammer to knock those the pegs in at the beginning of the Spike Cave.
I got a hint in Eastern that says that that there's cash that is required for the requires a hammer. That was in Eastern Palace. The unique item that requires a hammer.
In Eastern Palace. Well, the unique item that required a hammer, well, that could have been the lamp, because, like I said, you have to hammer in those pegs at the beginning of the Spike Cave to get in there.
But yeah.
The mushroom, maybe, in Swamp Palace? Is about the only other thing I can think of. The silvers that you were missing were on Lake Hylia Island. The red orang, I remember seeing it, but I don't remember exactly where.
Peg Cave.
Oh, the hammer pegs. That's right. Thank you.
Right.
Bombos was in the Ganon's Tower.
Side.
And that's it. That's all that was left, at least. Except for maybe red mail.
Of the items that that you didn't pick up, that's what was left. So the hammer could have led to the red orang or the lantern. Potentially the mushroom. I don't recall exactly where it was in Swamp Palace, but I do remember that it was in Swamp Palace.
There was a hint to I forgot where exactly, but there was a hint to Swamp Palace that there was a broken heart and a unique item.
I think that you might be thinking of the Misery Mire hint.
There was a hint for Swamp.
Oh yeah, you're right. And there was also one for Swamp, but I thought it was Compass. I thought it was Compass and Piece of Heart. I could be wrong about that. For the Swamp. But either way, GG's Kirito on that final fight.
Well, yeah, that's why I went through the items, because unless that hint was in green text, which would make it a troll hint, that everything that you were missing is, well, at least accounted for by what we saw on other runners' streams. So I don't know if we want to go back and try to get to the bottom of that mystery, but at this point, Kirito, was there anything that you just want to say in general about the seed or anything else?
That's off the top of my head. Other than that, I should practice more of his silverless Ganon, trying to get it to torch glitch with the fire rod. Other than that, it wasn't too bad of a seed.
Well, with that said, I think we've been at it for about 3 hours at this point, so I think if there's anything else you'd like to say, Kirito, have at it, but I think otherwise it's about time we shut it down for the night.
Thank you for watching our restreamers and they follow where's our comms and our trackers. They are doing so much for us runners / restreamers.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, have a good night, and well, might even be morning for you if you're in Europe at this point. But for me, it's just after midnight, so I am going to head off to bed in the very near future.
Very cool. Me, it's just turned 9 o'clock, so I.
Ah.
Well, yeah, GG's Kirito, and Frico, it was great commentating with you. Also, special shout out to our trackers. As Kirito said, those trackers were Link Force and Tony Likes Games. Special shout out to Speed Gaming as well. And GG's to all the runners.
Yeah, absolutely. Our unsung heroes, Tony Likes Games and Link Force, as our trackers. For Moonswing 27, I am Frico. Have a good night, everybody.